So this will be a little bit of a different video than my bee videos, but don't worry, those will still be coming out every Friday. But I wanted to get some more videos of farming slash homesteading, and this is something I've really needed to do for quite a while. If you can see all the weeds behind me, this is my upper pasture and it is weedy. Now, I haven't gotten the cows on it until very recently. That's why it's so bad, partially. But I also haven't brush hogged yet this year. It's well overdue, and I'll be taking care of that today, as well as going over a few hacks to help keep your pasture well maintained and abundance of grass for your animals to graze on. One thing we do is I always leave at least roughly 16 feet between the fence line and the tree lines. There's actually more most of the way around, but minimum I keep 16 feet between the fence and the trees. And that's just so I can get around with the brush hog all the way around my fence. It makes maintenance far easier. And you can see here the line where I brush hog today and the long grass outside the fence there. I keep enough room so I can mow this with our zero-turn mower. I weave in and out of the fence line, and that way so I almost never have to weed whack around our fence line. The mower can do it in like 5-10 minutes. It would probably take me an hour or two to do with a weed whacker, so it's a major time saver. And I'm a lot more motivated to do it with a lawnmower than a weed whacker, because I hate weed whacking. Alright, hack number 2, kinda obvious, but mow your pastures. You have to think of it this way. If you were a cow, what would you rather eat? This tall, 2 or 3 foot tall, thorny, weedy grass mixture, or this nice short, 8 to 12 inch tall, green luscious grass, almost weed free, easy pickings. The cows mainly graze right around the fence line where I mow, because it's all grass, it's weed free, and they don't have to be picky or choosy. Where if they eat through any of this, you'll see spotty areas where they graze some, where they found a nice plot of grass. They'll eat that and then leave the grass around the weeds that are mixed in. So it's a lot more work for them to choose. Where if you mow it and brush hog it, and you keep it 8 to 12 inches tall, 6 minimum, then it'll grow back faster, more lush, and you'll have a lot less weeds, and the cows will get a lot more out of your pastures than what they are right now. Hack number 3. Brush hogging and maintaining your pastures will also keep out invasive plants that could be dangerous to you and your animals. So behind me right here, these yellow flowers, I grew up calling it hogweed, but my wife had corrected me 500,000 times that it is wild parsnip. And you do not want to get that on your skin, mostly when it's daylight outside. The oils in it will actually burn you. So keeping your pastures well maintained will also get rid of that. I've seen it grow anywhere to 8 feet tall, and it's pretty nasty stuff you want to stay away from. But maintaining your pastures, keeping them nice and short for the grass to grow, will also keep out some of those invasive species you really don't want to mess with. Hack number 4, split and rotate your pastures. Now your grass will grow back much faster if you only graze it down to 6, maybe 4 minimum, but I believe the standard they look for is 6 inches. If you keep your grass about 6 inches and then rotate your cows off that pasture to a new one, your grass will actually grow back within a week or 2 and you can graze that pasture again. So putting cows on 12-inch grass, grazing down to like an average of 6, obviously your cows aren't going to be too picky and pull out a ruler to measure where they've been grazing to make sure they hit that minimum and then move on. So just walk out in your pasture. If you're still looking like most of the grass is 8 to 12 inches tall, keep them on it. If it looks like you're getting down to 2 or 4 inches across your whole pasture, move those cows to a new pasture as soon as possible, because depending on weather, that pasture can bounce back pretty quick. But if you overgraze and graze it down to nothing, that pasture is going to take several weeks and you just lost a ton of grazing in that pasture for that summer. So now, since I just got done telling you not to overgraze your pastures, hack number 5, don't be afraid to overgraze your reclaimed pastures. So this pasture here was far worse than the pasture I just mowed it for weeds, but this was my sacrifice lot over the winter. Nobody told the cows that, hey, pasture season is over, stop grazing. So this was overgrazed down to absolutely nothing, just an inch or 2 of grass. But doing that, they also ate a lot of the weeds when they were first coming up as little baby weeds. Now the grass was able to come back pretty strong and take most of this over. I do need to brush hog this and take up the rest of the weeds and kick the cows off it for a while so it can really truly come back as good pasture land. Obviously, because Angus and Forrest can hide over there behind that burdock bush right there just fine, and you can barely see them. So weeds are a little tall, but they're few and far in between because this pasture was overgrazed, and in doing so actually reclaimed this as a pretty nice pasture for future grazing. Now, bonus tip, and thank you very much for watching my video. Just do the best you can, because in the end, any maintenance is better than no maintenance at all. Just do the best you can. Mow a little bit of your pasture or weed whack around the fence line. The cows will clean it up. Maybe even just overgraze pastures and rotate them. It will hurt your overall yield in the end, but if that's the best you can do, that's what you have to work with, and that's what you have to do, so go from there.